So welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and I'm a gorilla in the wrists. Today we're looking at this Berny T2566, which is a particular interest for three reasons. First, it's my first Berny. Second, it's my first full titanium. And finally, because it's the first watch that I have that homages a personal icon. It'd also be great if you could subscribe to the channel. It allows us to do so much more. Right, enough of me. Let's crack on. So let's quickly run through the specifications for this watch. It has a dial width of 37.5mm, a very reasonable lug to lug at 43mm. The lug width is a standard 20, but it comes in at quite a thin watch at 9mm due to that Seiko VH31 movement. Because of the titanium, this one weighs 60 grams, has water resistance of 50 meters, and a reasonably decent flat sapphire crystal. So this is the Berny T2566ms. I picked this up for about just slightly over £50 in the March AliExpress sale, and it arrived in about 10 days all in, which I think is pretty impressive. So this is just over 37.5mm in diameter. It comes in a full titanium case. I don't know if the buckle's titanium. It didn't say actually. But this is a green. It has the Seiko VH31 movement in it and is homaging, well, that. So this is the Seiko SNK 805. So this is the watch itself. It has a Flieger style dial, again consistent with the Seiko that it's homaging. It has the Seiko VH31 movement in it. Sorry, let's just zoom in a bit. And so you get a reasonably good sweep of that second hand. It has numerals all the way around the outside at 5-minute intervals, and then there's the inner circle which has numerals from 1 to 12 that the hour hand stretches out to. The minute hand stretches out all the way to almost out to the minute track, but not quite. This one has the Berny logo above the pinion and Quartz titanium below the pinion. It has a sapphire crystal with allegedly anti-reflective coating. Not sure about that. There's a bit of flecto off that. And it comes on this grey titanium bracelet. Now, we're going to get into the titanium in a little bit, but actually it has the appearance, or it certainly retains the appearance, of the original. So the 805 has a bead blasted finish to it, so the titanium does have a sort of consistency with that look, and it is light. I mean properly light. This thing with a full bracelet weighs in at about 60 grams. It's also remarkably thin. 9mm, so impressive, and it feels really light. It also feels a little bit jangly. That's what you get for your £50. Let's stick it on wrists just so you can get a sense of how it wears. So yeah, it wears, I mean I've got big wrists, we all know this, but actually it wears reasonably well, and in terms of the specs itself, it is quite impressive actually for what you paid for this. So having paid about £50, it's got a Seiko VH31 movement, it has sapphire crystal, it has titanium, it has lume, and I'll put a lume shot up. I'm pretty impressed with the lume. The finishing itself is really hard to judge, predominantly because I've never had a titanium watch before. I don't know what good looks like. My initial reaction to this was that I wasn't blown away by it. So my concern about the titanium, and I have held titanium watches before, was that actually it's really hard to get a decent finish on them, and what you end up with is something that is, well, grey and a bit flat. It doesn't have any life to it, this one. Now I may be doing it a gross disservice, and this is based on not a huge amount of wrist time. There's a thin dividing line between being lightweight and being flimsy. And I guess my early opinion of this is that this just feels a little bit flimsy. So I think that's my first real challenge about it. The second one is that I'm inevitably going to compare this to the watch that it's homaging. And the watch that it's homaging has a particular place in my affections. So for me, and for a lot of others I guess, the SNK watch is sort of that gateway drug into this lunacy that we sort of envelop ourselves in. For a lot of people, this was their first automatic watch. And for that reason, it holds a peculiar place in our hearts. And coming along to challenge it, I feel a little bit sorry for the Berny watch, actually, because it's got quite big shoes that it's trying to fill. And whilst quite a lot of what it manages to achieve is quite impressive, as I say, the specifications, if you compare the specifications on it, you'll see that actually it seems to have the upper hand on the Seiko. So, for example, it has sapphire crystal. The Seiko only has K1 hardened mineral. The Berny has 50 metres of water resistance, the Seiko only 30. The Berny comes with the VH31 movement. The Seiko comes, which is a Quartz movement, the Seiko comes with the 7R26 movement, which doesn't hack, doesn't hand wind, and needs a bloody good shake to get it going. And the Berny comes on a full titanium bracelet, whereas the Seiko itself is on a bead blasted steel and did originally come on a canvas strap. Now I know why it was the gateway into the hobby for a lot of people, because they were cheap. When I first got into the hobby, you could pick them up for around £50. I think mine cost a little bit more. I bought mine a year after getting the bug, and therefore I ended up paying probably closer to 80 for mine. But it has something to it. It has something in the character, and I think when you do the side by side comparison, in my eyes, and I entirely accept this is just my view, you may well differ on it, but I find the Berny are just a little bit flat. It's all the right notes. It should be better. It should be a better watch. But the dial on the Seiko is better. I prefer the colour. There's a more subtle olive green colour to it. I think the sweep of the second hand on the Seiko is much better as well. For me, I like the colour. I prefer the finishing on this. Again, I feel a little bit sorry for the Berny. It was always on to a hiding to nothing, if I'm absolutely honest. However, it does have great loom. We'll put up a loom shot for you. It has great loom. And so I'm going to give it a couple more weeks and give the Berny the opportunity to prove me wrong. As it currently stands, it hasn't won me over yet, but I wouldn't rule out that it might do as we go further on. It has something going. It's living up to a bit of an icon. So that's it for today. I'm going to stick up the loom shot, and I will do an outdoor shot so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to wear this for a couple of weeks. And I'll come back and tell you if it's won me over. Let me know what you think in the comments. And also, if there's anybody, if you've got the Berny watch and you love it, that's fantastic. At this point in time, it's not winning me over, but it's early days. I entirely accept that. And please don't be offended. If you love your watch, you love your watch. I think that's fantastic. So that's it for now. I'm going to stick up a loom shot and an outdoor shot. Hope to see you back very soon. Have a fantastic Easter weekend. Not too much chocolate. And we'll see you back very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.